Hello, I'm Dave Mowitz, and welcome to Successful Farming. On today's program, I explore the latest prices being given on late model Kinze planters. Then we feature a farmer innovation that makes quick work out of weeds, burning them to the ground. The Engine Answer Man, Ray Bohax, offers another invaluable repair and maintenance tip. And after these brief messages, I tour a shop complex that expanded to meet the needs of a growing farm. So please stay tuned. Welcome to Top Shop Tours. Today we are at the Carroll Etchen Farm near Clear Lake, Iowa. When Carroll put up his first modern farm shop in 1982, he soon discovered how much more repair and maintenance work he could get done for his crop and custom farming operation. But soon he outgrew this 75 by 100-foot building. With that discovery came the realization he could use even more room for his growing fleet of equipment. To meet that need, he added a second 50 by 100-foot building, which provided room for an indoor wash bay and 2 work bays. Let's go talk to Carroll about his shop complex. Well, Carroll, we'll start out with the discussion. The original building, the original shop you put up, that was a clear span building. And how big was that structure?
A 75 by 100.
That was a pretty good sized building when you put that up,
Yeah.
wasn't it? So how soon was it before that you outgrew that?
Well, I probably outgrew it right away, but I had this wood building sitting here, and the doors, overhead doors, I had 4 overhead doors in it.
Wow.
And deteriorated, and then I couldn't get the one of the combines in because the overhead doors wasn't high enough, so I thought it was time to go.
Besides farming, you were also doing custom farming as well and trucking in addition to that.
Yes.
So you took the pole building down and then you put this clear span building up. And then how did you attach the 2 buildings then?
Yeah.
So a little walkway then?
Yeah, walkway through.
So how did you get water and air into here then? You just ran that through on a pipe, you said?
Yeah, I got a pipe through, it's a 4-foot entryway, and then I got insulated, a piece of insulation pipe that I put in between the 2 buildings.
Mm-hmm.
But I can shut the air off and shut the water off over the other building if I want to.
So in between the 2 buildings, really this is not in between the 2 buildings, but part of this building, you made a wash bay right next door here, right?
Yeah.
And this was an indoor heated wash bay?
Yeah.
And that was used in the winter primarily, or?
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, when I'm gone in Florida, they do a lot of washing in here.
Yeah.
The people come up here, brothers, and my wife uses a lot.
Yes.
Because she won't drive a dirty car or pickup.
Carroll actually has 2 wash bays in his complex. This outdoor structure, created by adding a 25-foot wide roof, is used for muddy machinery or blowout combines or to perform that first washing as equipment comes out of the field. Plus, this outdoor wash bay also acts as a refueling station for equipment. Now, you also have an outdoor wash bay you added?
Yes.
How did you make that?
I put a lean-to on the building, and a big lean-to, and made it high enough so I can get a combine in there. And out behind, I dug a 4-foot wide, about 8 feet deep pit, and put cement tile in.
Oh.
And then I made it deep enough so all the grease and stuff would go in the bottom, and then up about 2 or 3 feet, I put a big 12-inch tile and ran it down and run it down to my main, which is out in front of the farm.
So that acts as kind of a grease trap then for you.
Oh yeah.
Do you have you had to clean that out every so
Oh, I
once in a
pump
while?
it every year.
And you were saying your used oil, do you also have that pumped outside into a tank as well to contain it?
Yeah.
On the original building, what did you moved the shop into here when you built this structure, right?
Yes.
So what were you using the old building for? Was that kind of machinery storage? I noticed there's a few other...
Antiques.
Oh, that became your antique place
Yeah.
then. And then overhead you have a kind of a special place.
Yes.
Is that Carol's playhouse?
There's the pool table and the piano my mother bought in 1918.
Wow.
And a railroad depot car
Huh.
that came out of the Clemmy railroad station, railroad place, and it weighs right at 550 pounds.
Well, that took a little bit to lift that up there, didn't
And
it?
it took 5 of us to get it up there.
Carol went with a forced air house furnace to heat his main shop, and to create a comfortable work environment for his crew, he had air conditioning added to the furnace. Now, the added benefit of having AC in a shop is that it also keeps the air dehumidified to prevent rusty tools. The shop moved into this area, and you just basically kept your air compressor and everything back there then.
Yeah.
The other unique feature you have in this shop, it's air conditioned. That's pretty special, isn't it?
Yeah.
This may have been the first air-conditioned shop in the country. Where did you come up with that idea?
My office is air conditioned.
Oh, but that was a window unit, right?
No.
Oh, wasn't it?
No, that's all air conditioned, that part.
Ah, so you were...
Upstairs too.
Upstairs was too, but you had your office air conditioned. You
Oh,
figured
yeah.
you liked working in there so
Yeah.
much. You better get the shop air conditioned then.
Well, sure. Well, I said, you're going to put a big enough heater, you're going to put air conditioning in it.
So I bet the hired men like that.
Oh, yeah, we all like it. The dog likes it, me like it. Yeah.
To exhaust diesel smoke from his large shop and wash bay, Carol installed these large box fans. He reports that he can clear diesel exhaust out from the building within minutes of starting the fans.
13 inches of insulation up there
Oh,
up there too.
right.
But when you start them fans up, it'll, same with my other shed over there where I got the combines, it'll change the air. And when it's 10 below out, you turn them fans on and start it up, all that smoke, it disappears. 30 seconds.
And you don't lose all the heat in the building.
No.
Yeah. So that's the type of thing that you're just exhausting it outside. So when you move equipment in and out, you just get
Sure.
rid of the smoke
Yeah.
that way. Although Carol said he didn't plan out his shop complex, he obviously gave it a lot of thought. That is obvious from the space he set aside to create this massive staging area in which he kept his farming and custom farming equipment. I'll see you again next week on another Top Shop tour.
Hello and welcome to the Engine Man segment of the Successful Farming TV show. You know, today's modern farm equipment is really based upon electronics and electricity. And to do that, you have to make sure that you have a good, strong alternator and a good, strong battery that can accept that charge. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to take an alternator apart in front of you. This is actually a Delcatron alternator. It's from AC Delco, very commonly used on farm equipment and in different vehicles and different applications. And it's called a 10SI, and SI stands for Systems Integrated, and that means it has an internal voltage regulator. Even though this is a GM Delco alternator, basically most alternators today are patterned off of this, or what we would say in engineering that it has this DNA in it. So ahead of time, what I've done is I've already removed the other 3 bolts for the, that hold the case together, that will split the alternator, and I also marked, if I could find it, marked the case. Whenever you take an alternator apart, it's very important for you to mark the 2 pieces, the 2 pieces of the case, so you can put it back in the proper clock position. Now, I'm going to split this into 2 pieces here. This is always dangerous, taking something apart on television. Now that we have the alternator apart, I'd like to take a few seconds and just walk through the different components. In this part of the shell, we have the rotor and the slip rings. The slip rings are where the brushes ride on the rotor and transfer the electrical power. On this part of the alternator, this part of the case, we have the rectifier bridge, the diode trio, the brush holder, and the internal voltage regulator. And this little component in here that looks like a condenser is strictly for radio noise, and obviously there's a bearing in both parts where the shaft rides. Now, a diode is a one-way electrical check valve. It only allows current to flow one way. And it is very important, if the diode is weak on this system, if the diode is weak, the charge light will glimmer, the alternator will charge, but the output will be low. But more important is that it'll feed it non-rectified AC. An AC sine wave looks like this, and the diode actually chops it to make look like waves on the ocean. And if you have unrectified AC going into a modern piece of farm equipment because of a weak diode, it'll mess up your yield monitor, mess up the engine controller, and everything. Very simple to check any diode. It doesn't have to be at an alternator. One-way check valve. You take your ohm meter, put it on ohm scale, put one lead, positive or negative, on the feed, and then go to each terminal and read the meter. At that particular point, one way you'll have continuity. The next way you flip the leads and you should have no continuity. And that is all. It's showing the integrity of the one-way check valve. So keep in mind that an alternator that is charging but has a weak diode will impact modern electronics and farm equipment. If you have any questions on diodes, alternators, or anything else, please feel free to contact me at sfengineman@agriculture.com, and you have a blessed day. I'll see you next time in the Firestone Farm Shop.
Are you looking to upgrade planters? Then join me at auction to see what a 12-row Kinze 3660 planter sells for these days. So please stay tuned. Welcome to Steel Deals. Are you looking to upgrade planters, or are you looking for a second planter for planting soybeans, for example? A lot of farmers are seeding beans at the same time that corn is hitting the ground. So a second planter would be just the ticket this spring. If this is the case, then this Kinze 3660 would make an ideal seeder for you. See, this is a 2014 model in pristine shape. It's a 1223 configuration, and boy, is it loaded. It has Kinze's central fill system, ag leader row clutches, pneumatic down pressure, Yetter row cleaners, scales, and brand new openers. This planter is ready to hit the field today. No need to repair or upgrade it. So I'll be very interested to see what it sells for today. Before it hits the auction block, let's go talk to one of the representatives at Sullivan Auctioneers, the firm conducting today's sale, about planter price trends. We're talking with Matt Sullivan of Sullivan Auctioneers. We're looking at that Kinze planter. Now that's a 3660 and really is well equipped, but a 1223. A little less desirable than a 16-row, or in central Iowa or in the Midwest, it's still going to be a strong planter to sell?
Yeah, I think it'll still be a strong planter to sell. You know, it's a 15-inch planter, so they can do corn or beans with it,
Right.
and it's set up right with the row shutoffs and the scales on the tanks and central fill. I look for a very positive sale on that.
Well, brand new openers too, pneumatic down pressure, it's fully loaded and it's ready to go. Very likely, if you called in and asked about it, its maintenance was probably pretty good or maintained, because this is the dealer inventory reduction sale.
Yep, right. This is a dealer inventory reduction sale, and they've gone through the planter as well. Like you said, Dave, they put the new openers on it, checked it over, gone through it, and it should be ready to roll.
And that's crucial with a planter, isn't it?
Absolutely. The planter is a very important piece of farm equipment, you know, obviously.
So before you buy a used planter, you better spend some time looking at how well maintained it was, or what work it needs to be done on it.
Absolutely. And another thing, coming from a dealer, they can help you get started with it, you know, go over it with you, help you get it hooked to your tractor, and I think it's a great place to buy a piece of equipment.
Sullivan's been doing a fair share of dealer inventory reduction sales the last couple years. Actually, in the Midwest, you've been doing a lot of them. Are we seeing them taper off now?
You know, I think the dealers are getting in a little bit better position as far as their inventory. So yeah, I think they'll slow down just a little bit, but Sinclair's have been in business a long time and have 11 stores and have done a great job trading for stuff, and it's, you know, they're just wanting to better themselves, and they think it's just a great opportunity to sell a nice line of farm equipment. I think it's a good time. Mm-hmm.
Right.
So the deal is at an event like this, you're going to probably see stronger sales, but also the line that we're looking at across this lot is pretty high quality, isn't it?
Very high quality. There's a lot of nice late model, low-hour pieces of farm equipment, and we look for a very positive sale.
Everything late model and large was in ample supply, late 14, 15, 16. But planters are one of those things that seem to be drying, good use planters seem to be drying up. Am I wrong?
No, I think you're exactly right. There were not near as many of them sold new, so therefore it makes the used ones harder to come by, and these planters are low acred and set up right with all the right options. I think it'll be very exciting.
1223 fully loaded like this, you have any speculation of what you would give for it if you were bidding?
Yep, I think it'll bring, I hope to see it fetch around $65,000, $75,000.
Boy, prices have gone up, haven't they, on these things
Yep.
then?
Yep.
Well, thanks for that information, Matt. Let's watch the Kinze planter sell.
$60,000. 65,000. I'm gonna 60, I'm gonna 5, I'm gonna 5 down, to get 65 down, to wait on these planter boys. 65,000. You're 5, I'm gonna tear down to get 5 down, tear down 5,000. I'm gonna 65 down, and now 70,000. I'm gonna 67.5 now 70. 67 and a 5 and a 70,000. I'm gonna 67.5 and 70 down, and I'm 70,000. 70 down, and I'm 67.5. Got to get all play 70 down, I'm at a 67.5 and I'm down about a 70 down, I'm at a 68.5 and about 68.5, 67.5 and now 70,000. Now 70 down, I'm at a 5 and a 70 down, I'm at a 5 and a 70 down, I'll take 69,000 then. 69,000, I'm at a 8.5, not now 70. Didn't get you, Matt. 70 down, brand new bidder. 70 down, now 70. I'm at now 71,000. 70 down, I'm at now 1, 2. 75 and a 2,000. I'm at a 2. Boy, you talk about a low acre late model planter, now 73,000. Just starting to look at my product, 72.3, 3,000. I'm gonna 2 and a 3 and a 2 and 3 down, down and a 2 and a 3,000. You're 2 and an internet channel live with the ring with Matt, 72, 73. Got it, 72 down about it, 72,000. Put in the bank, 72,000. Bid number 299, Bob.
Matt Sullivan thought that this planter had legs when it came to value, and he was right. The final bid on our Kinze 3660 was $72,000. I hit the internet tracking recent auction sales of similar planters. A machine almost identical to this planter sold for $65,000 in Illinois. I also discovered 6 similar Kinzes sitting on dealers' lots with asking prices ranging from $79,000 up to $84,900. But remember, this planter was 4 years old, but in pristine shape. The challenge with buying used planters is that you could also be buying a lot of repairs. So be sure to thoroughly examine a used planter before buying. Conduct an examination of crucial components in the row units and the seed meters. Now, you can find invaluable information about planter inspection and repair from our planter doctor, Kevin Kimberly, at Successful Farming's website, agriculture.com. And you can catch my Machine Insider equipment price trend analysis at that same website. Now, for more information about Sullivan Auctioneers, go to their website at sullivanauctioneers.com. I'll see you next week on another Steel Deals Report.
After these brief messages, we feature a propane-powered weed burner that a Colorado farmer created to make short work of weeds and ditches.
My name is Richard Schfunk, and this is one of my pieces of equipment that I've worked on and built along with my dad. We use this mainly along cement ditches. That way, when we go to irrigate and throw the tubes out, it's got a lot more clearance with weeds, and we don't have to use so much chemical. We also go around cement pads and where we're gonna lay silage or hay, and that way we keep it all clean. Before this burner, it was a pull type, and it would take 2 of us, and one would have to ride way on the back and be too close to the flame. It was a gear drive, and you'd have to stand back there with the steering wheel, and now it's all run off of hydraulics. That way we can move a little faster and get a little closer and have more safety and be inside the cab. At the end of the boom here are the baskets, and you can light you light a fire and then go up and you turn the valve on, let the flame get started, and you get in the tractor and just drive along, nice slow pace, and keep the flame kind of low, close to the ground, and get a nice good burn going along beside the ditches. It can go all the way from the left-hand side to the right-hand side, and then it can go down below the ground level in case we're up on a hill, and then we can go pretty high with it so that we can get above on hillsides, or if we have to get it up away from existing plants so that we don't burn anything that we don't want burnt. Everything that we had was off of existing old equipment that we weren't using. So the 3x4 square tubing was off of a old beat top saver that we had laying around, and the orbital motor came from old beat digger that we weren't using anymore, and the hydraulic hoses were all off of existing equipment. So everything's original to something else. Plan on trying to build a second one so that's easier for one person to use. Plus we're spread out over 10 miles, so it's easier if we have one on one side of basically the tracks here and one on the other, so that we can split it up and don't have to drive so far. For more information about this idea and other farmer inventions, go to agriculture.com/TV.
Please join the Successful Farming crew next week for another show. In the meantime, be sure to visit the show's website at agriculture.com/TV to get more information on this show and to view past episodes. And as always, please let us know what you think of the show. Look for the show's email address at agriculture.com/TV. See you next week right here on Successful Farming. Hi, I'm Dave Mowitz. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit subscribe right here if you haven't already, and click that little bell right here to be notified when we post a new video. And click here to see more great episodes from Successful Farming Television.